Okay, so what we are going to talk today is from instinct to love, motherhood, like as the journey of our experience in life. How we start feeling the instincts in our way of learning until we develop the love that we want to focus today, the unconditional love, the love that we have as a goal, that God wants us to have as a goal, the ultimate learning. And we know, since we can understand in our studies, that we have many layers to learn, from the instinct to love, going through motherhood, and we are going to use the motherhood as our reference point. There are many layers there for us to learn. There are many layers for us in our pathway to go until we get from our final destination, that is the plenitude, our enlightenment. So we are going to talk about all these layers that we go to. And as Susanna said so beautifully in the opening, it feels like she read my notes, by the way. God gave us, in His mercifulness, so many opportunities for us to walk through those layers. According to our merit, He wants us to go step by step and slowly getting the learning more and more until we get our goal. And He's always stimulating us to grow. He always empowers, shower us with abundant mercifulness and loves and opportunity, because He wants us to really get to, as soon as we can go, to get to our final destination. That is our enlightenment and our ability to love unconditionally. And He does that through His immortal divine laws. So the laws is there for us to push us very gently in our evolution. So let's have a look. Okay. The spirit has a long journey from the moment it's created until the final destination, plenitude, enlightenment. And it travels through several kingdoms of nature. Leon Denis said, "The soul is sleep in the stone, dreams in the plant, moves in the animal, and wakes up in the man." So we have several kingdoms. And the kingdom, and the mineral kingdom, inert matter, which comprises the mineral kingdom, possesses no more than a mechanic force. This is where the intelligent principle learns to agglutinate the elements of matter. And the plants, composed of inert matter, but also endowed with vitality. And here where the sensation starts, the ability to react to stimulations. And then in the animal kingdom, animal composed to inert matter, also endowed with vitality, but also with instinct, that is a spontaneous, voluntary reflection, and is characterized from a natural impulse, which means execute the animals execute certain tasks, like who thought the birds, right? How to create this perfect nest. Their instinct, how the cat knows how to cover his little things, right? So they are impulse that is given to the animals for their needs. And we see in some animals, especially in a little more higher animals like the monkey, the cat, they have already a little bit fragmentation instinct of intelligence. And they are there like a little practice of the intelligence that eventually is going to develop in a man. So, and also, all the instinct is there for helping the preservation of the animal. So, when you get the human beings possess everything that exists in the plants and the animals, and dominate all the other classes through spatial unlimited intelligence, which provides them with the awareness of their future, the perception of extra material things, and the knowledge of God. And here then, the spirit starts developing itself. It starts getting the conscience of itself and the surroundings. And since we started and we are created, until we get to this phase in the reason, takes a long time, a billion of years. But in here, we start having the reasoning. we start to get the intelligence that can be illimited for us. And we start having a little bit more opportunity in our growth because we start having the reasoning and the free will. So this is where all the fun starts for us, okay? And we just conquer now the reasoning and the free will and the awareness that there is more things around and there is a God. And up to now, all our evolution was from outside to inside. But now we have the ability in the spirit to make our evolution from within, from inside to outside. And now with this intelligence, with this reasoning, we start our path to conquer more values for our evolution. The intelligent and the idea that we are spirits and there is a Father, we started developing the ability to conquer superior values. And that's where our soul starts evolving more and more. And we bring to the table the responsibility, the sensibility, our ability to make the sublimation of our emotion. And we started transforming our spirit, and eventually we are going to get to our destination, that is to be in angelical realms. In the book, A Mechanism of Mediumship, Andrea Luiz, he says that we go through all these stages in nature. And here, as humans, we started to have the ability to construct our destiny. We started the ability to build our pathway. So Kardec asked in the Spirit's book a question. Does, besides getting rid of its own perfection, must the spirit also struggle against the influence of matter? And the spirit could respond, yes, the less evolved it is, tighter are the bonds between the spirit and matter. When a spirit incarnates into a human body, it transmits the intellectual and the moral principle that plays on a higher order than the animals. The two natures in humans give two distinct sources to their passions. Some bring from their instinct of nature, others from the impurities of the incarnate spirit, which sympathize to a greater or lesser degree with the baseness of the animal appetites. In purified itself, a spirit frees itself from the influence of the matter little by little. Under such an influence, it approaches the animals. Free from such influence, it rises towards the true destiny. So we have a ride to go here, right? So, in that work, we have the gospel that helps us, bringing us the law of love, and explaining to us that love, being the finest sentiment that exists, that summarizes the complete doctrine of Jesus. Through spiritual progress, instincts become sentiments which are more or less involved. So, we understand that in the love, that's the work we are going to talk about, our journey between transforming this instinct and the quality of love that Jesus is talking about. And we start to look in the motherhood and the animal kingdom. And we start to see, if you look it close, you feel touched by what you see, don't you feel? We start to feel that instinctive maternal love that is there. And it's like it's the principal intelligence, like practicing the motherhood, practicing the love of a mother, and it reflects in the material life of the animals, but of course it's limited for the necessity of all the animals. In this part, in this life, in this kingdom, it started the practicing a little bit of the love, but just enough the instinctive love to protect the animals. And it ceases. And when there is no more need to protect the animal, everybody goes in their way, right? So the animals are very attached to protect the needs of the little babies. And continuing the law of love, at their origin, humans have only instincts. More advanced and corrupt, they have only sensations. More educated and purified, they have sentiments. The apex of sentiments is love. So we are going to look And how can we all transform and identify what we experience, the feelings, and see how we can transform and elevate our sentiments. And more evolved, point and delicate feelings, the sentiments, is that's where the love show up. It's not the love that we traditional love, we say that love that, you know, we all talk about sometimes in almost in a vulgar way. We're talking about the love that is a lot bigger. It's the love that makes sun in our soul. That love that connect us, that take us from being individual, look just on our belly button, the love that help us to show up in life and look and discover there are other people united us as a human being. And of course, to reach that destination, to reach that quality of love, we need to go in this journey within and see where we are and see what we can do to transform all those germinations of feelings that are there based in our instinct, but we need to lapidate that and transform that. And we have an understanding that the less advanced we are, the more need we have to work towards, little by little, detach a little bit more from matters, because they are enslaving our instincts. So that's the way we need to work on, free ourselves from this prison, you know. And the spirit that is starting to flourish now needs to be cultivated, needs to be nurtured. We need to understand in this investment is that where our true wealth lies. Because everything that we invest to nurture our spirit, to do this transformation, that's where lies our future peace. And in the present moment too, our happiness, the moments that we truly feel connect with our Father. And all that is in the gospel, the law of love. And I encourage you after this talk, read it again. If you never had a chance to read it, read it. And if you have read, please read it again, because more and more viewpoints we contemplate, more and more we grasp the lesson that is so immense in this gospel, in this lesson. And Chico comes here, send a kiss to everyone, and he said once, a mother love is something that can never be defined. The height and the degree of such sentiment cannot be measured. And we heard, oh, the mother's love is so high. So we want to truly understand how that is. This motherhood, it is such a wonderful, wonderful feeling. It doesn't matter which race, where you are, and how that is. It does not depend on education, of money, but in every culture, the mother love, the mother for love, is so present and help us to go forward in life. But who does not know is our most referent close point of unconditional love, the motherhood. Have you heard about that? This is the quality of love, the closest we have as we can experience for unconditional love. And before we go that, in the book, Spirit's book, Kardec, actually I went a little bit fast in this slide, but that's okay, we saw them all now. Kardec asked in the Spirit's book, if maternal love is a virtue or instinct sentiment common to both humans and animals. And the Spirit replies, it's both. Nature has endowed the mother with love towards her children in the interest of the preservation, but in the animal this love is limited to their material needs and ceases when such care is no longer needed. In the human, it persists through life and consists in an unselfish devotion and abnegation that comprise true virtues, and even survive death, accompanying the child from the beyond the grave. So he stated that also God gives to a mother that seed of love, that you naturally feel the love for your child, but also is a component of a virtue of devotion and abnegation. And yes, many times it is a virtue that is very latent in some mothers. You see the level of devotion of so many mothers. There is one mother that declared when her child was sick, when we become a mother, something changed inside of us. It's like the instinct we train back in the animal time comes right back when you needed to jump as a lioness to protect your child, or when you needed to be close and like licking your baby when he's sick, right? How many of us have to have the eyes of eagle to look around and protect our child? Our intuition sharpen a little more. How many of us has to be like, that you stay all night long, taking care of a child that is sick and needs to go to work next morning, forget about it, right? We just shower and all our energy is right there. Many of the mother has the force of horse to carry their children in their arms. How many mothers work with the child in their arms or in their back sometimes? It is a force that we don't know where it comes from, but it's that seed that we have that protect our children. However, many times, in the power of the law of the reproduction and conservation, we have this love to generate the protection of our children and perpetuate our species. But the virtue that the spirits talk about here, it is something that we need to acquire. The devotion and the abnegation is the extra layer of the maternal love. And it started here. It's a virtue to be nourished, to be developed, to be conquered for so many. And God gave us this maternal love for instinct, to protect our children, but is in our end is our responsibility to make and nourish that love to grow, that quality of love. And that's why we witness so many different qualities of maternal love. Have you noticed? There are so many qualities. And more, that's a merit of the Spirit, and more the Spirit is evolving and doing the work of their inner transformation, the more this love is expanded, embracing, more abundant, more self-sacrifice this love becomes. We have a wonderful example of maternal loves. And of course, it starts with our biggest mother of all, Maria de Nazareth, this mother for whole humanity. Which mother here have never prayed, put in the arms of Maria de Nazareth your child, asking for help and protection? Who has not prayed like that? Huh? The mother that helps all the mothers. And we have a true example around us, many mothers. Many of you inspire me in this talk today. And there are many silent examples as well. We see true mothers that have never had a son coming from her womb, but embrace them as if, even more. And we are not only relating to the maternal love of woman. That's not what we are presenting here. We are bringing a new perspective, and that's what the love that Susanna was talking about. The maternal love is just a small reference, not a small, a big reference for us to start, but we are talking about the quality of the maternal love. That's what is the most important message, and that is referring to all of us. Because today in our society, we are having different roles. So the focus of our talk is that they're speaking about the love that is self-sacrifice, devoted, abnegation. The love that takes care, protects, they empower. Today the family is very modified. We see so many grandparents, grandmothers taking the role of a mother in the family, giving all the maternal love. We see many families now that has two fathers, and still the child receives the maternal love. Because what we are talking about is the love that is dedicated, that help, that sacrifice itself. Forget about us and how can we empower our loved ones. That is the reference point love we're talking about. And we have a wonderful, wonderful example of this maternal love. And one of them that I want to talk about is Maria de Magdalene. Everybody knows the story of Maria de Magdalene? So she has, you know, considered herself seen many, many times. And she heard Jesus talking about love in the village where she lived. And she started feeling a deep admiration for what she hears. And she started developing a wonderful, she was very intrigued by Jesus. And she kept asking herself, what kind of love is that has been taught to the fishermen? Up to that point, she only just committed her sins, and all her attention was in her desires and the way she was living the material life. And then she started feeling that everything that Jesus says got to her heart, because her heart was discouraged and her spirit was hungry for the true love. Her words of Jesus, the words of Jesus planted in her mind new thoughts. Maria observed that the material things that she once enjoyed were now bringing emptiness to her sensitive spirit. Jesus' loving invitation touched the most sensitive core of her soul. Jesus was calling all men for a new era. Her conscience was asking her to go and talk to Jesus. Can anyone identify any of your needs in here, the same needs than Maria? How many of us was hungry for the true love? How many of us, when we heard about the gospel, the Jesus word, the love, renovate our thoughts? How many of us felt that just being attached to the material life is not enough, felt the emptiness in our spirit? How many of you can identify with Maria here? Okay. So, she was willing to go and talk with Jesus. And she overcame death resistance. She was very resistant because she was wondering, she was such a sin, she committed so many sins, how Jesus would receive her. And when she got to Jesus, she felt such a welcome smile, and she naturally felt, okay, I can talk to him. And she asked him if God would accept her, even though she had so many sins. And Jesus answered to her, have you never seen flowers being born of the house that been destroyed? So he told her, look to the sky and rejoice in your pathway. Above all the sins and failures, the blessing of our Father coming from heaven calls you. Walk now under his light, because love covers a multitude of sins. It's imperative that you comprehend that to enter his kingdom, you need to walk the path of virtues through the narrow door. The ones who truly love know to renounce all the worldly goodness, living happy in the journey of work and sacrifice to the difficult access to the light of renovation. So she was more and more intrigued, this invitation that Jesus was doing. And Jesus talked more and more about the quality of love. And then he mentioned about the mothers. What the world would be without the maternal love that expressed the sacrifice. And he started explaining to her. And she burst in tears because she knew she could not be a mother. And Jesus asked her, what would be more meritorious in the eyes of God? A mother that takes care of her own children, or the one that devotes herself to guide and protect the children of others as her own? And that question resonated in her mind and her heart, and she left in deep meditations. Jesus' words honor her spirit, inviting her to be the mother of her brothers and sisters of humanity. And it's necessary that each of us take our cross and search to the narrow door for our renovation. Place above all the loyalty for God, and secondly, the trust in yourself. And Jesus said to her, go, Mary, sacrifice yourself, love, and love ours. Long and difficult is the pathway. The door is narrow, but the faith removes mountains. Don't be afraid. You just need to believe. And that, she left there a transformed woman. Because up to now, she could not even grasp the idea what a mother would feel like. She was so distant. But Jesus educated her. There's a lot more. Just to have your own child, there's a lot more in this love to be learning. It's a responsibility of every single one. That's the new era Jesus was talking about. Learning and develop this quality of love. So as soon Jesus left, she started missing more Jesus. And one day, she was sitting by the tree and she saw some people, they were very sick and was searching for Jesus. But Jesus was already gone. So she sat by the tree and started telling those people that were sick. I don't know how to say in English, the lepra. Huh?
Lepers.
The lepers? Oh, it's the same? And they were lepers. And she started talking about Jesus and talk about the love that she learned from Jesus and talk about all the lessons she has learned. And as she started talking, she started noticing the difference in their expression. They felt alleviated and consoled in the door, in their pain. She started feeling a little light of hope in their eyes, and she could just remember Jesus saying to her, "Go, Maria, go in love. Love your brothers and sisters." So she started every afternoon sitting there, and they would come to her, and her loving words was consoling many. But one day, that group of people, lepers, they were expulsed by the city, and they went to the house of the lepers. And she went with them because she feels that her word and consolation was very important for them. And she walked then, and she would remember saying, Jesus say, sacrifice, forget about yourself, love, Maria, love. And she stayed with them, and eventually she got sick. But through the last day, she was consoling and bringing those people that were sick. They were very distant to people. They were all in need of a hug and love. So she became the mother of them. So when she passed away, Jesus was waiting for her, and he said, "Come, Maria, come, because you walk through the narrow door." And I thought this story was really wonderful for us, because that's in the invitation. That's the invitation for us to learn, to embrace this quality of love. And for that, you know, how many times you sit here and you hear us to say, how about our inner transformation? Get to know yourself, right? It's kind of boring here, the same thing, but it's imperative. That is the main lesson. That's what Jesus was talking about. We need to learn to be aware of our tendencies so we can transform them. We need to remind ourselves that we have our instincts, and boy, we know them when they act on us, right? Our impulse, huh? We cannot not notice, am I right? It's impossible not to notice it, because that's what it is. We need to learn it to transform, and unfortunately, we are close to this end, isn't it? When we start realizing, becoming aware, and be vigilant, then we start noticing how many impulses that we have that we wish we don't have anymore, but that's what it is. And it's our job to transform. Slowly, slowly, we're going to transform where it only is desire and passions and attachment to the material pleasures. Slowly, slowly, in this work that we are doing, step by step, we are going to start feeling an awakening of a little bit more noble sentiment, isn't it? We feel sometimes, and we feel very touched by it. More and more we feel that. We start learning that we need to learn to detach ourselves from selfishness. There are so many acts that we do that keep us from expanding this kind of love. This kind of love that is going to start to include one more person, one step at a time. And gently we're going to start to include all the family we have. So many of us kind of exclude some people in our family, in our love. Am I right? Those ones that we know exactly what we're talking about. Yeah? All of us have some people that we need to work on, right? But slowly, slowly, we start loving, including them as well. And slowly, slowly, we can include more people from the work, from our country, and eventually one day, God knows how long it's going to take, maybe another billion years, include all our brothers and sisters, the whole family. But for us to experience this quality of love here and now, we needed to start doing this work. It's like start polishing our tendencies. It's a very subtle work, but we need to start polishing. We need to start to refine our sentiments. And we need to open the windows of our souls, allowed to bring some light in. We need to open the window, get some light inside of us. We've been in the dark long enough. We needed to free our instinct that prison us. We are in the prison of our instinct. We needed to free ourselves and allowed our light shine. And we all one day are going to experience that. It doesn't matter where you are right now. This is our final destination. We all are going to learn. No matter how evil person in the planet there is, one day he's going to experience that. Just because we had these divine seeds inside of us. And you can eliminate it, you can fade it. It's right there. It's shiny, but it's right there under the layers and layers and layers that we need to build. Sometimes we see a little light and shake inside of us, and that has us shake us up and impulse us to do something better with our lives. And sometimes go torment again. Sometimes our instinct prison again this seed. So it's like our spirit is like a field that needs to be nurtured. We need to cultivate it so our divine seed can flourish. And it's very important that we start cultivating this soil with some kindness. We cultivate some kindness so we can eliminate all our weeds that is growing all around, empowering our selfishness. It's very important that we cultivate this soul with compassion so we can let it go, the envy, the indifference. It's very important that we cultivate with that. It's very important that we cultivate with faith so we can let it go, the fears, the anxieties that we carry with us. It is impressive that we cultivate with a lot of faith. That's the only way we are going to slowly, slowly eliminate the fear we have. And it's imperative that we let the hope grow, because the hope that is going to give us the certainty of the love of our Father. Enough is enough of doubting that we are worth being loved. Enough is enough. Let's allow the hope to grow. We need to cultivate understanding, dedicating the work and the serve and the study so we can eliminate forever the inertia, the procrastination in our life. There is a way we can cultivate our eyes to start perceiving the real vision of love. The eyes that is going to give us the opportunity to use the opportunity that it presents itself for us to love. But for that, we need to close forever the eyes that is criticizing. They see all the negative and see the bad. We need to learn to open your eyes really wide to get the real vision. It is imperative that we plant more seeds of fraternity in our path. That's the only way this seed is going to germinate. With fraternity, it is imperative that we do these actions. And when we start to using these goals, this as a goal every single day, and the drop in the quantity you are able to, when we do that, we start in attracting near us all the benefactor spirits that are here. When you enter the spirit center, don't you feel the love there is here? They love in a more expanded way. And when we do those actions that make our heart more prepared for this seed to grow, they get closer and closer to us. And when we feel the touch of their love, we can only grasp the quality of this more expanded love that we are all, as children of God, are entitled to. That's what we deserve to feel. We wanted to live close to that love. We wanted to live in that vibration. So it's a wonderful invitation for us to get the real vision so we can start seeing a little more. And we don't need to be a mother to develop that. And of course, if we are a mother, we have more opportunities to practice even more. Happy is the person that has a mother next to them. A mother that empowers them, that embraces them, that protects them. A mother that can look at the child as their divine children. Not the personalities that annoy them. The mother that can look above that. Connect divine being for the divine being. Lucky you if you have that. But many people don't. Many people don't have that person that opens their arm and say, I love you, regardless. Lucky you if you have that soft place to fall. And lucky you if you can create that soft place to fall. Many people don't have that. But if you have it or not, the opportunity is for us to all experience that. All of us can experience it right here. All of us can learn to expand our vision, to look around you. Maybe you're sitting next to someone that doesn't know what this love feels like. Maybe you're sitting next to someone that don't have a mother. Maybe you're sitting next to someone that never felt love. Or maybe you're sitting next to someone that doesn't know how to love. And there are so many people around us that just need a hug. That just need someone that opens their arms and say, I love you. There are so many people around that needs that soft place to fall. There are so many people. So the invitation here, offer your heart. Having your real vision to see. Have eyes to see so you can open your heart. Open the path of opportunity for you to love. And for everyone that you can touch, with your drop of love, doesn't need to be big, just one drop of love. For one person that you can touch, I hope you can see in their face Jesus reminding Maria, go Maria, go Maria, love ours, love ours. So that's what I wish. Let's go and love everyone we can. And that's the message for today.